am therefore bound by law and the cause. I shall raise an army. Together we will march against you and your kind. And every born man will fight to regain his own freedom and cleanse his wretched soul.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Podcastle. My name is Jim Sterling. I'm joined by Atheistium, aka Lauren.
Hello.
And I'm also joined by Wardrox, aka John.
Hello.
Right, for those of you who don't know, this is it's a new podcast. It's like a mini podcast. We're not going to go on too long because you've already got Retroforce Go and Pod Toy if and when it appears again. So this is just like a shorter, less regular Eurocentric podcast. It's marmalade flavoured, basically. It's your one-stop shop for funny accents and...
You keep saying one stop.
What?
One stop. You keep saying it, it's funny. Reminds me of a little shop.
One-stops are brilliant. You can go in there at any
We
time.
did one after school. I was like, I'm going to one stop.
Yeah, you can go into a one-stop at any time
Get
and buy...
anything. Well,
yeah.
not anything.
Well,
Most
anything if what you want is a Ginster sausage roll. And
I do like sausage rolls,
two
though.
bottles of Coke for £1.
Big
Now
bottles?
it's a bottle of Coke for £1.20 or something.
Oh, it's gone up. Oh, it's gone up.
Remember the days?
Oh,
when
I
everything
remember
was
the good old
cheaper?
days when you could buy a bottle of Coke for £1.
Oh, penis.
Massive.
Anyway.
Yes. Okay. So yeah, this is the Podcastle, which my Auntie Babbage left me in her will. And Richard III used to actually record podcasts here.
Really?
Yeah. With that flimsy premise out of the way, let's actually go on to the show. So, we're going to talk a little bit about what we've been playing this week, because we're British and you're interested in what British people play. While you're all playing...
We're really behind.
Yeah, exactly. We're kind of in the past. Which is strange because we're also several hours ahead of you. So, it's a kind of paradox. This is the precise reason why we invented Doctor Who. Right, moving
so anyway,
on.
what have we been playing? Jim?
Yes, what have we been
playing this week?
What have I been playing this week? I've been playing Mass Effect.
The best game ever.
Woo!
That's right, Jim.
The best game ever for people without hands and can't play games. I'll tell you
Why do you
this.
hate it?
I'll tell you this, right? I'm actually one half of the review team that's reviewing Mass Effect for Destructoid. And I've been... And you know us at Destructoid, you know, we pull no punches. But I've actually been asked to have a look at my review again and try and see why it's so wrong.
Why?
Aaron has basically asked me to not critically murder the game. And actually spend more time explaining why I hate it rather than just spending several paragraphs saying I hate it. That is how much I loathe Mass Effect. I actually, you know, what can I say? I spent probably, 16 or so hours with it, got to the final boss, and I loathed every hellacious second of it. I really did. I wanted to change my review to a 3-word review that just read massive shit.
What is it about the game, though? Is it like the characters or the gameplay or what? Because there's a few things that I hate with it. Like, I'm really enjoying playing it right now, but there's a few things I really don't like, so I just want to compare.
It's the combat that I don't like the most. It just... I think everything about the combat is bad. It's badly made as far as I'm concerned.
Why?
Why? Well...
I like the combat.
Well, the button layout is terrible. And, grenades mapped to the back button. Grenades mapped to the back button.
That was stupid. But
you have 3 buttons that draw your weapon. You don't need 3 buttons to draw your weapon, while 1 button is the hotkey for your biotics. What the fuck? What was BioWare smoking, and can I have some? Is there anything I like about it? When the graphics aren't bugging, because there are a few bugs, but when the graphics aren't plugged in, they look fantastic. You know, that...
For fuck's sake, guys, 3 minutes. Fucking hell.
She didn't care for my review of Mass Effect, I think. I think she's gone to cry.
I'm really sorry, I thought my mum locked herself out.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
She locked herself out of disgust for my Mass
I was
Effect
disgusted
opinions.
of Mass Effect.
She was sat there reading the Fun Day Times and she just looked up and said, "She said what about Mass Effect? That's it. I'm locking myself out."
Yep.
Anyway, yeah, back to Mass Effect. Yeah, the things I liked about it was, I mean, graphically it is gorgeous, and looking, especially the aliens, like the Tal, you know, the guys, but the cat-like guys.
That's when it loads.
They look amazing, you know, the skin on them, the textures
Taurian.
on it. The Taurian, that's it. I mean, they look almost tangible. The texturing on the skin and everything, you know, very good. And the facial expressions, not so much on the humans, but on the aliens, look great. I do like the story. I like the universe it's set in. It's almost a what's the word? It almost rivals the Star Wars universe in terms of, you know, how interesting it is and how much you would like to invest yourself into it. But it kind of falls a little short of that, I think. Otherwise, the rest of it's fucking crap.
Oh, come on.
What do you mean, oh, come on? Oh, I'm...
Right. So,
Okay.
apart from the graphics, the story, and how everyone looks, like... So hang on, it's basically combat, isn't it? That you don't like, because you can't play first-person shooters.
What do you mean I can't play first person? What the fuck? I can play first-person shooters if they're competently...
Play them well.
I like shooters. I like Gears of War, and I play them. I could kick your fucking ass on Gears of War, you cunt.
Yeah, sure.
Gears
You
of
could.
War isn't really FPS though, it's third person. and
Mass
that's what
Effect,
is,
Mass
so-
Effect isn't an FPS. So
Exactly.
you can shut up, John. You don't know what you're talking about. I do, right?
Fine.
Personally,
Yeah.
I thought Mass Effect is a good idea. I think it's not a finished game, and the
Exactly.
downloadable content really needs to fix bugs, because I found several bugs in the game which mean I've actually had to restart my Xbox and go back into my last point to fix bugs where I go into a conversation and there's actually no like kind of selection, so I'm just stuck staring at this woman and I can't do anything. I've been stuck on many like sections where levels being like steep in sections where my character actually gets stuck and just floats. Half the time I'm talking to people, character textures don't load, world textures don't load. I don't know if it's my Xbox fucking up or something, but half the time a lot of stuff isn't loading.
I haven't
But
had
apart
it,
from
yeah.
that, I really like the leveling system. I like the idea. I like, especially the galaxy, the way that's set out. It does take a little long loading between, just for what it is. If you know when you select like a certain galaxy to go into, and then it takes like a while to load into the system, I find that really weird. Why it's loading that just to see a planet,
Yeah.
like a bunch of planets. I don't understand why you need to see a loading screen for that. Also, when you're like surveying and landing on different planets, I don't see why you have those random planets that have nothing to like do with, like no survey or anything. Because that
Oh, I tell
stupid
you
menu
what.
comes up, tell me about it, and I'm like, I don't care. If
Yeah.
I can't survey you, land on you, I don't give a shit. So I think there should be like little markers telling you.
What I
like, little
love,
things about-
what I love are the uncharted planets where you go down, you fight some really hard giant snake that's come out the sand. You spend about 20 minutes bouncing around in your magical rubber car, only to find the one thing on the
Oh, I
planet
hate
you
the
can.
maca-
Oh yeah, but you spend all that time just to find the one thing on the planet you can interact with. Except you can't because your description skill is too low. I love that bit. That was probably my favourite part.
That is frustrating.
But yeah, I mean,
I
I
like-
just think if you're gonna say the game's decent, okay, fine. I think you're pushing it by saying even that, but fair enough. But so many people are saying this is the best game they've ever played. This is
Oh,
the
no.
best game of the
Oh,
new
no.
generation. No, you're
No.
you're fucking
I
lying.
think-
I'm accusing you now of being a liar who's doing it on purpose.
Well,
And other
for
than
me,
that, I think your family should be hanged and all your writings burned.
What about you, Wardrokes? What do you
right
think?
then.
Yeah, go on, come and
Right.
drown us in your
I
lies.
think. Fuck you. I think that it's very good because I am also trying to play Assassin's Creed, and that is disgraceful. And it's relatively... I started playing Mass Effect thinking, I don't like RPGs. And it's just like, oh my god, I'm not bored. I've been playing this for an hour. There is stuff to do. Oh my god! And it could be a relative thing. But it just seems so nice to play. Like, you can just sit there. It's almost mindless because it's just run, shoot, run, blah, blah, blah. But, yeah, I think maybe my vision is tainted.
How long have you been playing it for? Because I've racked up about
only a couple of
12
hours.
now.
Because my housemate has been whoring it for the last week, so I've only got a couple of hours into it. And also I've been playing, well, all the other games and Boom Boom Rocket.
Oh god,
But,
yeah, so much.
Boom Boom Rocket.
I'm only a couple of hours
is
in,
very
and
good.
I can't see it being bad.
But you've been playing
Is there anything else anyone playing, like, apart from Mass Effect?
Boom Boom Rocket!
Boom Boom Rocket. The free content's coming out for that
Yep.
today, actually. So looking forward to that.
I thought you had to pay for that.
No, only it's free until I think December 12th or something like that. December 16th.
Yeah.
They
When
did
is
download
that
it.
actually released?
Sorry.
When is that actually being released onto Xbox
Yeah.
Live? 'Cause I can't remember.
Today I think.
Ooh.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. Today,
Usually it's
very
Wednesdays.
soon. Well, maybe next Wednesday, but I thought I heard today. But anyway, very soon. I'm looking forward to that because I do like Boom Boom Rocket. It's fun for if you're really bored and you've got 5 minutes, just
It's
throw
worth
it
it.
up and blast through it. Very good in short bursts, I think. But yeah, I've also been playing because I took back massive shit and I got Warriors Orochi, which
Orochi.
was more fun than Mass Effect. Sorry, and I got Eternal Sonata, which I haven't played
It looks
yet.
shit.
What does?
Oh,
Yeah?
I have a love affair with Eternal Sonata. I love that game.
I'm looking forward to it. I haven't had an
It-
opportunity to play it since I got it.
But you've got to have patience with it because sometimes you'll get frustrated how long things take to do anything. But it's a beautiful
Well,
game.
it's a
The
Japanese-
animations, the characters, everything.
Yeah.
Keep it in Japanese as well. Just not because I'm a dick, because the English voice actors actually are terrible. Like, sorry, but you're fucking terrible, and you need to learn how to voice act. But they're shit.
Well, that's
Especially
Japanese
Polka.
RPGs for you. Slow moving and shitty voices. Which is why we buy them.
But yeah, Eternal Sonata is a good game actually. I liked it anyway.
Look,
but
I'm
you've
looking
got
forward to it. It looks
play it
beautiful.
through like 3 times. It is beautiful. Apart from that, though, Call of Duty 4 is beautiful.
Well, of
Anyone else
course.
playing that?
I've been playing that non-stop. Plus, it's got English people in, so it's still relevant. You know, the people.
So it makes it even. It makes it superior. Jim.
SAS people
It's the
going
word I'm trying to
wanker,
Superior.
superior.
I've still yet to play Call of Duty.
Superior.
You- Yeah, get it. Play it on Xbox.
I can't,
Live.
it's all out of
Never look
stock
back. What?
down the road.
Is it
and I
really
can't
out of
bother
What do you
to
mean it's out of stock?
get it. It's out of stock.
It's out of
All I
stock.
had was the special
Where?
box edition.
Get that.
In my
Where?
local Blockbuster games.
Oh, you motherfucker! You go to Blockbuster
Yeah.
Game. That's fail.
Hey, it used to be a game station
Hate.
for school,
you.
and now it's
That's
now
even
it's gone.
that's even worse. I hate you.
I'd rather shop there than at Game. I know you work there. No,
What?
True.
I know you
What?
work there, but I don't like Game there.
What?
Plus,
The high quality of service?
plus
No, to be fair, it really does depend. Like, it does depend what kind of store you're going to, because game stores over here tend to be a lot smaller than the American ones, because American ones are nicer. But I think Game just seems to be cleaner than other stores, like the way they lay out stuff.
well,
I
yeah,
don't know,
but
it's
it's
probably
their
me.
it's
I'm
their
a neat freak.
prices I have a
Stuff like
problem
that.
with. And since the game takeover,
Game Station's not any fucking better, dude.
well, now it isn't. It used
They
to
haven't taken over now.
exactly the part exchange rates at Game Station used to be superb. I mean, fantastic. I used to go in there and part exchange all the time. But since the game takeover of Game Station, they promised it wouldn't affect pricing, but it has. I've noticed it.
They
now.
haven't taken over yet, though.
Have they
You
not?
have your info.
Oh well, they've
No.
ramped up the fucking prices just to get us used to it. Then before the locust-like takeover, then because they've certainly changed. So I think retail is dead now. online shopping really is just it's the
No,
only way
I
to
like
go.
going to the store. I like going to the store.
I like going into a store. I love the atmosphere of a game station, especially. I like the people there. They usually know what they're talking about. But as far as money goes, nowadays, if I want a brand new game, I'll fire up GamesTracker.com, whack in the name of the title I want to buy, and it will find me the cheapest price online, and then I will go and buy it from whatever store it is, and usually you can make, savings of between 10-20%. GamesTracker.com
Shit.
is the link. I highly recommend it to everyone to check out, actually, no matter what country you're from, because they do, US, Canada, and UK prices, so...
Do
That's
either
quite
of you
bad.
two rent games?
Sorry?
You rent games at all? Because that's something
I
I'm
do.
looking into, because, like...
Oh, Gameflirt. I do it with Gameflirt. It's a stupid name for a company, but they're really fucking good. I've never ever had a problem with them, and I've been renting with them. And let me just get the link for you. They're very quick. You don't get like a box or anything. It just comes in an envelope, like most kind of rental companies. But you can have the game for as long as you like. There's 3 different accounts. You can pay the little extra to have priority on new releases, but usually you probably won't get them. Like, I just have a normal account, so it really does depend. But you can add like more games at once, so you can rotate between 3 or 4 games at once, or just one game.
Oh,
It's a really
cool.
good company.
Yeah, that
About
sounds...
£9 something a month, something like that.
That sounds like the company I did a trial with. I did a free trial because my internet was going down and I needed some games and couldn't be bothered to pay for any. So I went on Boomerang and tried that out. It was just pretty much the same thing. I put down a list of games, and on the lowest priority, for a joke, I put down 2 Worlds.
And it's the first one you fucking get.
And
Always
it's-
the low
yeah.
pro one.
They sent
That's
me
the
2
first one you
Worlds,
get.
and I couldn't play
I
it.
hate it.
I tried for 10 minutes, and I actually could not play 2 Worlds. It's that bad. I just said, this is terrible, I cannot play this.
Is it worse than Mass Effect?
No, because I managed to play Mass Effect for 16 hours, all the while saying, this is horrible, this is horrible. I couldn't do
I'm
that
surprised,
with 2
like-
Worlds.
You put the time into it, actually, if you really do hate it, because like this is pretty blasphemous for me to say. I hate Oblivion, so I know a lot of people shout at me for that, but I spent like 10 minutes with that game, and I fucking hated it. But everyone
Fair
speaks
enough.
of how many hours they put in.
Oh, I
But
mean,
I didn't. I think
Yeah, sorry.
I'm proud you put the time in, because you've got a lot more kind of patience than I do. Because if I hate a game, I'll put it down after 10 minutes. That's it. It really does depend. So was Kane and
depends.
Lynch. I wanted to like that game.
I mean, it depends,
I really
really,
do.
because there are plenty of games where I've just said, this is so shit, I'm taking it straight back, and I'll take it back the next day and swap it for something else. But when I've got to review something, like Conan or Mass Effect, even if I hate it, I want to get as close to complete as possible, because obviously I've got to review it, so... There we go.
I still have no idea why I haven't taken Ass Creed back. I'm just forcing myself. I think I've worked out where it gets fun, and it's after about 3 hours of gameplay where you've got used to the really poor controls, and it's before about 9 hours gameplay where it becomes incredibly repetitive and shit. But I'm just approaching to the 3 hour point, so it's like
So it's all good
you
times.
learn that. Yeah, I'm looking forward to about 3 to 6 hours of fun game ahead.
See,
Everyone's hating on Mass Effect, but I like it. Not Mass Effect, sorry.
Did you not find it hard to
Assassin's
control?
Creed. No, I found it very simple to control. The controls are the most basic stuff. It would have been nice
it's
to
not
have
that
something.
control. It's like when you're climbing, the number of times I want it to do something and it just does something different.
Yeah, the backtracking's kind of annoying, and where they say you can climb on everything, and then you get to a part on the wall, and there's obviously a lump just above you, and you can reach it, but he just refuses to go for it.
Yeah.
That's annoying. I like it. Yeah, it's repetitive, but every time
Yeah.
it feels like it's getting repetitive, I just fucking free run, and it's gorgeous, and you can climb on nearly everything, and it's good to like just get on those high points and just look at the whole place. So
Yeah.
I think it's interesting. Sure, it's kind of cliche, but I like it. I don't know the hate.
I mean, this is the love that I'm
fans.
hoping to gain in a few hours' time.
What?
This is that's the point that I want to get to, where I can just free run quite happily or climb shit. And once I sort of learn that oh, if I like twist this way, then I fall off, so I just don't do that. As soon as I actually get that intuitive with the controls, I'm sure it will actually become fun. But I have
Yeah,
also
but
come
it
across
does.
many of
It
the little
starts.
bugs.
Yeah, if you're one of me, and if you're kind of like me, where you like to get all the DNA bar full, and so you rescue
Mhm.
everyone and stuff, it gets tedious. And the main thing that's annoying is when you're doing all the save citizen and stuff like that. Doesn't matter what fucking town you're in, they're gonna say the same thing in a different accent, and that's a huge mistake Ubisoft has made. It's a simple thing. If you're spending that much money into making a game, fucking hire some script writers to make something original for
Yeah.
different citizens. Like, I don't understand why I saved 3 citizens in a row, and they all said exactly the same thing when I saved them, and it made no sense whatsoever. So that was really fucking annoying. But generally, it's a good game.
Mm.
I like it.
Right. Now, okay, moving on to the London Games Festival, which we just had. All three of us here have experienced various facets of the LGF, and I think without a
Lesbian and
shadow,
Gay Foundation.
the Lesbian and Gay Foundation, yes. But I think what it's without a shadow of a doubt, it's kind of epitomises exactly what is wrong with Europe when it comes to video games. Really, started off fantastically. And yeah, it started off fantastically, really. That's about all I can say.
What events did you go to?
Let's see, I went to Video Games Live, which was the kickstart.
Which was good.
Which was fantastic. Then, what else did we do? Went to the Video Games and Arts lecture, which was excruciating.
I like it.
I also went to EA's Be the One event in Trafalgar Square, which had Dick and Dom on it.
Oh my god.
And I think
Actually, for Americans, they're not going to know who Dick and Dom is, so do you just want to explain what Dick and Dom is?
Yeah, Dick and Dom is the
for the American public.
They're the Morecambe and Wise for a new generation.
They need to die.
I actually think they're alright, to be honest. To be honest, as far as children's TV hosts go, I always found them quite watchable.
But
nothing. I'm
oh
sorry.
god!
They used to bring children onto their show, and they used to verbally abuse them. They used to tell them they were rubbish and things, and just shout at them and intimidate them. And I thought that was fantastic, because I don't like kids or the elderly, and so I just thought it was fantastic.
So special.
But anyway, yeah, the London Games Festival was, I don't know, a lot of the events that were on, it just seemed like they were just trying to sandwich themselves in or thinking of things to do, and it was just, I don't know, there was no structure to the event at all. It was just like, I want to promote something,
The London Game Festival wasn't marketed really towards gamers.
No.
Well, no, there is that.
More kind of selling a product. Like, Video Games Live was good and everything when we got some seats sorted, and I really enjoyed that night, and there was a lot of gamers there, and I was surprised actually by the amount, because I'd never gone to any previous ones, and I was surprised at the amount of gamers who did turn up, and like kind of families, things like that. That was fascinating. Generally, all the kind of photos from other events, it seems there was more media going, and people who kind of not really gamers themselves, but kind of representing a company of some sort going, rather than actual gamers, which you would have thought a festival would be for. So, I mean, I only went to the orchestral thing, so I don't know how you found like the EA event and stuff like that, but personally, from like what I've seen and what I've read, it wasn't really kind of an event for gamers at all.
I think there were a few events. I mean, there were quite a few fringe events, and they were geared towards gamers and things. But it just seemed to me like, I don't know, like they were just desperate. They were desperate for things to do, so they had things like DS pub meetups and video game themed pub quizzes. And it was just sorry.
I wanted to go to the DS pub meetup.
I know you did, but I wouldn't let you. I don't like it when you talk to people I've told you about that. I've warned you about. I've warned you about other people.
Get out of the cage.
Exactly. You come back dirty if you go out and interact with things and go out hanging around with all those girls that I've seen you float. I've seen you, you dirty little boy.
What? I think the UK needs a proper gaming convention of some sort. There's plenty of anime conventions that I've attended personally, and some of them are run really well, some aren't. But generally, I think there needs to be a proper games one where it's not too corporate, but does have that feeling where it's not just a bunch of fans making a shitty kind of event. It's done well, but it doesn't feel like it's just there to sell products, which is something I know Play.com are actually doing an event which apparently is going to be geared mainly towards gamers. I don't know too much about that at the moment, but I'm sure they're going to start releasing some more information. But that's probably going to be the next biggest kind of gaming convention coming up. But generally the UK really doesn't have much for this kind of thing, while America has like all the actual kind of gaming like competitions and stuff like that, and just general loads and loads of stuff. But we have a few kind of pro gaming circuits here, but it's nothing.
Yeah, exactly right. Exactly right. I mean, that was the thing with this London Games Festival. It seemed to lack organisation. It lacked cohesiveness. I mean, it lacked publicity as well. I actually spoke to one of the guys involved with the London Games Festival, and he was just... It looked like they were hurting for publicity. You know, he loved that people from anywhere, you know, when he heard we were from Destructoid, he didn't seem to have heard of Destructoid, but he was just glad that anywhere related to the press was going to like the fringe events and things. And he even said if Destructoid wants to do something for future London Game Festivals, let them know. Which,
that'd be good.
Yeah, although, you know, what is it that a blog could really do? Not
get drunk.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it would just be a pub crawl. And
that would be awesome.
And I think when you're offering blogs the opportunity to fly banners during their pub crawls for you, you're kind of, you know, you're really hurting for some big
publicity.
For publicity and proper events. You know, proper big scale events. The largest scale event outside of Video Games Live was EA's Be The One, and that was just a massive... They might as well have just flown in a giant penis and had, with EA tattooed on the side, and just have everyone suck it for 3 hours. That's basically what the event was.
I know everyone was saying how E4 was crap, but I'd rather we actually had E4 over here than nothing, because we just have fuck all. Like, everyone was saying how E4 was kind of empty and it was crappy, but you guys have got E4. Nintendo bothered to turn up for E4. Like, a bunch of people turned up for it. We get nothing like that. I'd rather we have like a shitty huge one than nothing.
I'll tell you what as well, if we'd had E4 over here, it would have been packed to the rafters.
Well.
People in the UK, we're fucking desperate now. We will take what we can get, and if you did a proper video game convention here, people would turn up. People would.
Oh, and they pay for it as well.
Yeah.
It's a London Expo. Like, you're paying about £10 to get in, and I've gone to many of them. Like, usually I'm working them, but to be fair, I know some. I don't want to be too critical because I know the people who run it, but it's not for gamers. It's for if you want to cosplay and do anime and talk to a bunch of anime companies, or if you're really into sci-fi and Star Trek and stuff like that. It's absolutely fantastic for you. But apart from that, it's fuck all for games. I mean, like, every convention I've gone to.
I went to the.
It depends. Like, they've got some cool memorabilia. Only because they had the Dynasty Warriors thing, though.
Well, exactly. I was invited to go up there by Koei. You know, they sorted me out a pass and everything, so I could go and check out some of like Dynasty Warriors 6 and what have you. So I turned up, and I must say, you know, the atmosphere from the fans was great. You know, people were dressed up in some. I mean, I'm not a cosplay fan, but the costumes were fantastic. You know, you had guys dressed up as like the. What's it that, you know, those guys from the from Kingdom Hearts, you know, the 13 guys with the cowls and the hoods and everything.
Oh, yeah.
And guys with massive hair and Final Fantasy X people and everything. And one guy's Phoenix Wright, which was fantastic.
That happens everywhere you go. Everybody does Phoenix right now. Seriously.
Oh, well, it was great when I saw it anyway. But,
anyway.
you know, the atmosphere from the fans was great, but the event itself was not very good, and I think that's a perfect example of what I'm saying. Even if the event is crappy, people will go, because we want something. Just something, you know. The London Expo is not that great. I went there, it was basically just people selling shit. It was just a giant car boot sale.
It is.
With an anime cinema, which was just a television. That's it. This anime cinema was just a TV.
Yeah.
But
a lot of anime cons do that, though. They have, like, movie rooms, and it's just a really big TV. And they'll go.
Exactly.
Because it's a chance for them to see other people who are interested in what they're like. That's the main thing with anime cons. I've gone to, like, my first one was MinamiCon, and they have a subsection really called LoserCon, which is people who can't afford to get a pass for MinamiCon, but just get a room in the hotel and drink. And that's all you do, just drink all weekend and talk to people who've got the same interests as you. And that's why I really want a kind of gaming convention, because especially for where I'm living now, I'm back down in Portsmouth instead of London, so it seems a bit dismal for me, but it'd be nice to kind of meet up with people, and you end up making friendships and a whole load of stuff out of this kind of convention atmosphere. And the more kind of people you got going to this stuff, the more kind of sales you're going to get, especially with all competitions I'll have. There's so much to do with it, but they're just not doing it over here, which is a shame.
Exactly.
Well, if we were offered a Destructoid event at London Games Festival, we should go for it. Like, have the London Mini Games Festival, where we pack in like one day.
Cool.
And go epic style on it.
Give me £1,000 and I'll do it.
You already owe me.
You need more than £1,000, I promise you.
Well, yeah. I was going to say £500,000, but then I thought that would be a bit much, so I said, well, £1,000.
You could make a really big statue of Nero.
Oh.
He would be hot. I'd pay 5,000 for that. Well, I don't even have that kind of money, but
you would if you had that money.
I would.
Okay, listeners, send PayPal to me at PayPalMorphineGym@gmail.com, and we will make
APSgym@gmail.com.
Yeah.
I'll take your money.
Yeah, and I promise we'll make a big Nero statue
after we've gone on holiday.
Yeah, we'll put it in Trafalgar Square.
It's gonna
be
made out of
next to Nelson's column. You have Nero's column.
Exact Nero's column.
Yes, that is hot.
Right, break.
Hello, soldier boy, oh boy, she's spewing out the propaganda. Propaganda. Might makes right, you are wrong, you're right to fight the propaganda. 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 Come to our side, she does say. Come on over, she does say. When I don't need more competition for her affection, you should fight on over there.
Welcome back. We were going to talk about how the Big Three treat the European territories, but then we spent too much time talking about massive shit and the London Games Festival, so we don't have any time for that now. We'll do it next time. Instead, we've got a couple of questions, and by a couple, I literally mean two. Questions and discussion things to talk about before we sign off. So, who was it who asked these questions? I forgot to note down who it was who said them.
Oh my god.
I just copied the questions into Word.
Professionalism. That's professionalism. Right there.
I'm not paid to be professional.
I hate you.
I'm paid to have flame wars
To
with
say
Sumizu.
cunt.
And to say cunt, yeah. Okay, well, some fucker said,
anyway,
how the big... oh no, let's forget that bit, because we're not doing that. But he did ask, with the new deal... Shut up. With the new deal between the BBC, ITV and Channel 4 to have a joint web channel, do you think the hinted at deal between the BBC and Microsoft for downloaded TV is off? And if so, will we ever get anything worth our shilling on the TV section of Marketplace? Surely if MS really cared /wanted, they could have organised some distribution deals by now. Ka-cha! Fuh! Yeah, like seriously. Cha! Anyway, first point of the question. The BBC, ITV and Channel 4 have apparently set up some joint web channel, which is the first I've heard about it. But that sounds like a bad idea anyway, because the BBC is made up of 10% Nazis, 40% other Nazis, and the rest of them dinosaurs. And I disagree with the TV licence as well as a libertarian. I think the TV licence should have been ruled illegal by now. I literally think the TV licence is illegal and a crime.
The important thing is that they codenamed it Kangaroo, and I don't know why. Why would they codename something like this Kangaroo?
Well, they codenamed it...
It's their secret codename for, like...
That's Australia.
Yes.
They should have called it something British, like Badger. Or Sparrow. Codename Sparrow Badger. Or codename Otis the Aardvark.
Do you reckon this is a way so they can charge TV license for internet?
Of course. There's going to be a charge for this because the BBC's fucking involved. The BBC acts like it's a monopoly. Like it's still a monopoly when it's not, when we have like hundreds of other channels out there, and yet, for some reason, what they are doing is still legal. They're still able to tax us for owning a television, and that's not legal. No country in their right mind would allow that kind of shit. The BBC...
There's a great quote from John Smith.
Yeah.
There's a great quote from John Smith, who is the CEO of BBC Worldwide, which is that by combining our joint resources, we're really taking control of our destiny.
What?
Destiny.
I've got a...
They're like the Transformers.
I've got a great quote as well. I've got a great quote. It's called... The BBC stands for big bloody cunts.
That's not a quote. That's
my quote. That is
talking shit.
That is a quote. Jim Sterling, 2007.
For the question at hand,
yeah.
If anyone has an American and British account on Xbox Live, you can make one pretty easily. But I've checked out the American one, and they do have a lot more stuff. Compared to, they actually have content there. They have a lot of movies to download. Yeah. We have a music video, I think, and
Oasis.
I'm not even sure if that's free or not.
Oasis, and I think you got to pay for it.
No, I think it's Shakira or something. I don't know, but it fucking BS because I remember ages ago they were announcing all this stuff, and this Xbox 360 Elite coming over here. They were making a big deal about there going to be content. That's the reason for that 120 gig hard drive, and still waiting on that content.
Well, I mean, they promised this month was the Xtival, the biggest event on Xbox Live for European gamers, right? This massive... It was a theme and some gamer picks.
Yeah, that was the biggest event that Xbox has done in Europe.
That is true. That is true.
I came after I discovered it several days after it launched to no fanfare whatsoever. Holy fuck, an Xtival theme for my Xbox dashboard. Jesus Christ, how will I go back to gaming?
Looking as well.
How will I go back to normal gaming after my mind has been blown? You fucking wankers. Seriously, it's just... Now, there are a few things I admire when it comes to Microsoft in the European market. Firstly, they realise we're worth at least giving lip service to. But all they give us is lip service. There was supposed to be some big Xbox-themed event, like, going on outside of Live, like an actual 360 event. Didn't happen. The Xtival was a joke. But at least, you know, they release games within a week of the US release, unless it's a Japanese developer. So, and they let region locking, while they should have allowed region locking to be mandatory, region-free discs to be mandatory, they at least let the developer decide whether they want to region lock their games or not, so we can play some. But anyway, Microsoft and Xbox Live, when it comes to Europe, there's a lot of work to be done. And yeah, I think if MS really cared or wanted, they could have easily organised some distribution deals by now.
You know what would have been good? Like, America getting loads of free games on arcade, and what we don't get, that maybe you could start with that. You know, give us a fucking free game when America get it.
Well, yeah.
I hate when they do that.
Yeah.
I have to log into my American account to download a fucking free game, even if it's shitty. Why do I have to log into my American account just to do it? That's fucking BS.
Yeah, you can keep Yaris, though.
I hate that game.
More things...
I was so excited because it was free.
I must actually say, my jaw dropped when I found out that they actually let us download Carcassonne for free as well.
Oh yeah, I was
that was the
surprised about that.
Yeah, that was a shock because we didn't get, obviously, what was it, Aegis Wing or any of the other deals you can get, but they actually let us get Carcassonne for free, which is, well, I suppose it's a step in the right direction. Thank you, Microsoft. More, please.
It just surprises me for like how dominating the gaming has become in Europe now. Anyway, especially with the way sales are going, like. For my last few months working in a game store, it's ridiculous how well games sell over here, and like just generally the demand for them. Like when games come out, I thought nobody was really bothered and they'd just pick it up whenever, but the amount of people who come up just to pick a brand new game up is huge now. So it surprises me how little companies are doing, especially Sony just do fuck all for UK, and at least Microsoft are making up these shitty kind of festivals that don't really exist. Like at least they're putting it out there, and Nintendo's doing like a kind of like a university challenge where that was that fucking crappy Brain game where they'll pay for your university fees, but at least they're doing some kind of event. But Sony just seems to have fuck all going on.
They did a UK tour,
and even though they're selling well now, like the PS3 is actually selling.
Sony did a UK tour of the PS3.
Remember that.
No, I don't. But well, I do, but I didn't go. But yeah, they did something. But I think all the companies are just doing, they're doing the bare minimum to make it look like they care. And yeah, that's... What else did he ask? Because we got to deal with this question as well. He asked do we think that because I actually did the story on this, that the BBC and Microsoft are working together to add to the marketplace if and when it finally hits, put things up like, British shows like presumably Blue Planet and that kind of thing, which would probably do very well. But with the BBC now working on that Operation Kangaroo, or whatever it's called, do we think they're still going to work with Microsoft?
I don't want serious. I just want a fucking movie. I just want to rent a movie like I do with the American one. I don't see why there's licensing problems.
Yeah. Unless the
movies
BBC
get
put it
released
on
over
live
here, I
for
don't
free.
see what the problems are. But like on the American one, you can just rent one.
Brooks, what did you say? Out with it, man!
If they put it... God damn it! If they put it on live for free, like they broadcast it for free, or they have to pay per month. If they did the same with live, where it's all in the TV license, I'm not sure I'd mind that much. But it's going to be like 1 million Microsoft points for everything.
Which means I'll just keep using Torrent Spy. Fuck it.
I don't think then we need TV series on there. I don't think Xbox needs that. I think, like, as an entertainment system, if fucking got a TV already, I don't want to watch a BBC show, which I pay my TV license for, and then watch it through Xbox.
Yeah.
For money. I want to have a movie which I can rent for like a couple of nights or something, like you can do with the American Xbox.
Yeah.
Like just one movie. I can't remember how many points it is, but it's really cheap, and it will just auto delete after you've watched it or something. I just want that. I don't want all this fucking shitty BBC shit because it's pointless. I just want to watch a movie. I don't want to play with all that crap. So that's just me. Like I don't like all this music crap either. Like all the consoles are trying desperately to add kind of a music genre to the consoles, and to be fair, gamers are kind of into their own niche kind of things. There's no real kind of music market mainly within it, so it makes no sense to try push like rap music or whatever music within the console genre, because it's not going to work.
Yeah.
And they're always trying to do that with the British one.
Okay, fair enough. I think we've dissected that fairly adequately. Moving on, as to the last of our long list of questions. Again, I don't know who asked this. I know I said I'd read your names out on the show, but I am not worried about that. So it said, you
You're a
and...
cunt.
Yeah, massive cunt.
Anyway.
You and Atheistium, myself and Atheistium have expressed wishes or outright plans to eventually pack up your belongings and leave the mother country for its greatest offspring, the good old US of A. I'm curious as to the reasons behind this. If they're personal and you'd rather not discuss them, that's fine, of course, and would make for a very short show, to be honest, so... You know. I'm also wondering if this is a trend among UK residents that you've observed, followed, or if it's just a coincidence that 2D Toyders may eventually call America home. Lauren, I'll throw this over to you. Oh, apparently it was one moment. It was Bronx Bomber 21 that asked that question.
With numbers and letters and stuff.
Wardrox, just let me know.
Mm-hmm.
It's difficult. I'm fed up with England. I've moved around the country a little bit. I lived outside in Japan for like half a year, and I absolutely loved it. Came back to England, and I was oh fuck. So when I went to Penny Arcade Expo, I really enjoyed myself. I like the people over there. The weather's a little hot, but it's like I can get used to it. I'm mainly planning to go to college over there and then eventually move over because the stuff is cheaper, your living is cheaper, your standing of living is better. And I want to rape a few people while I'm there too. I heard it's legal in some states.
It is.
It is.
Yeah.
Awesome.
As for me, half the reasons are personal, which is not. It's something I will go into eventually, but it's not something I'm like at liberty to talk about at the moment. But as far as other reasons, I mean, there are so many reasons why I'm going to be moving, and I'm actually hoping to be there sort of mid 2008.
Okay.
Right. Sorry, no, I was being put off by words being put into this fucking chat.
You need to learn how to multitask, Jim. I noticed earlier you stopped talking to reply 2 letters, and then you carried on talking. Oh, so special.
I can't think.
So
Anyway,
special.
anyway, back to the plot.
Yeah, let's wrap it up.
Anyway, there are so many reasons why I want to move. I've got nothing tying me to this country. My mother actually disowned me in a hilarious story, which I'll go into next episode.
Oh no!
That was brilliant.
No.
Seriously, I'm technically an orphan like Oliver Twist. It's brilliant.
When we wrap this up, you're telling me, dude. I'm not waiting till next week or whenever we're doing it.
Well, the others will have to wait. But anyway, apart from that, so I've got no huge ties keeping me here. Just a little bit of family.
You owe me £60, Jim.
I owe you nothing. I owe you a shot in the guard. That's what I owe you.
Jim, I want my money.
Back, Jim.
You owe me £60 more like.
No, I don't.
Oh, you forgot about that.
Oh.
Anyway, yeah, that's another reason why I'm moving is because
go.
I owe Wardrock £60. That's another reason to go to America. But yeah, there's a lot of reasons. I'm not a huge fan of this country as it is,
So
especially.
you're going to America?
I live in southeast London. I live in Middle Park, where you literally, and it's happened, you'll park your car outside, go back in a few hours, and all the tyres have been slashed. If you just leave your car outside. So yeah, it's a pile of shit. Visiting. And I've got a lot more keeping me, a lot more welcoming me to America. I've got my job there. I can do Destructoid nearly full time over there and freelance a lot easier as well.
It's got someone who'll let him poach there.
So yeah, there's just a shitload better, and I don't think it's a huge coincidence among the internet savvy. Most people in the UK, they're happy to live here, but as far as like UKers on the internet go, I think they're more in tune with what happens in America and other countries because they're connected to the world. I think they want to go more. David Horton as well, he desperately wanted to get out of the country and go to America as well. So I think it's not a trend among all UK residents, but UK residents online, I think there's a greater chance of them wanting to sort of go out further afield. And that's...
I mean, I'm perfectly happy staying here.
That's because you are a twat.
You
No,
just
I mean,
want to be
I
like the
have
main
no reason
detoy
to
person
leave.
over
I'm
here. It's
perfectly
not going to
happy.
happen. We'll kill you before we go,
Yeah.
Oh,
We'll
really?
and take your
so there'll be no one.
take your yellow mohawk with us as a prize pelt to lay.
Where?
Oh,
Yep, we'll lay it at
I
the
hate
feet.
that.
We'll lay your pelt at the feet of our new American overlords. It'd be great.
Just as a
Works for
random
me.
ad,
Mm.
Savannah's asking me about Two Girls, One Cup. And I saw Two Girls, One Cup, and I can't say it's something I like. Just adding that there. for you guys.
I find Two Girls, One Cup fascinating, as I was saying before. It's just the way it fills up that glass, like as you said, Lauren, like an ice cream. Just the speed and elegance with which it fills the cup is just amazing. I literally...
But we're not going to let people know what Two Girls, One Cup is, because if you really want to know, you'll find out for yourself, like I did.
Yeah.
And, it
It's one of
was
those
good.
internet secrets that when people say, no, don't. And then you go, whatever,
they mean it.
it's not that bad. And then you do. And it's just like, oh god, my eyes. And then the next person says, what's that? And you go, no, don't. And they go, what is it? And then they do it, and it's just a chain reaction.
It's like when you see someone yawning and then you have
Just
to yawn.
chain
It's that kind of thing.
Oh shit. I just lost.
You lose the game?
I did just lose the game, yes.
Oh, that's a shame. I hate you.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And on that
let's,
positive note, I think it's time to wrap
let's
things
wrap
up.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So thank you to Wardrox,
Who died,
Both words
apparently?
that I said.
Yeah. Thank you
There we
to Atheistium,
Ooh.
Thank you.
and thank you to Jim Sterling,
He's a
Oh,
cunt.
fuck
Who
Jim
is
Sterling.
who's a big wobbly cunt. And we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Ah.
Bye 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 my baby, now it's time for me to go to work, so you might want to make your way from here. Bye 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 my baby, now it's time for me to go to work, so you might want to make your way from here. Bye 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 my baby, now it's time for me to go to work, so you might want to make your way from here. Bye 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 my baby, now it's time for me to go to work, so you might want to make your way from here. Finish up your beer.